welcome to day 30 of Move for Mind. So it's a penultimate day, we're very nearly there. And I've got quite a flowy strength building flow for you today. We're going to be working our way into a standing balance. Grab 2 blocks if you know you need them in your practice, but we're going to begin in an easy seat today. I'm going to sit up on my block because it feels better for my hips. So either bringing the hands to the thighs, palms facing down for grounding, or palms facing up to receive energy. And I do invite you to either close the eyes or lower your gaze. Rolling the shoulders up and away from the ears and down the spine. And seeing if you can create more space between each vertebrae. Allowing the spine to grow long. Almost as if someone has a string from the top of your head to the ceiling. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Giving yourself some time to arrive onto the mat. Maybe taking this time to really check in. Notice what's going on for you today. Not yesterday, not last week, not later this week, but today, right now. How are you today? How is the body today? How is the mind today? So maybe even starting to use this practice to create that line of communication with the body. Learning or relearning how to focus on yourself, on your body and your breath. Not in isolation, but as a whole. Taking one more deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Then opening the eyes with a soft gaze, if they were closed, and coming off the brick. You can stay on it if you want, but I'm going to come off it here because we're going to take a little twist. So inhale, bringing the hands either side of the body, allowing the spine to grow tall. Inhaling the left arm up, bringing left hand to the outside of the right thigh and walking the right fingertips behind the right hip. Exhale here. And on your inhales, maybe just releasing a little bit out of the posture, finding that length in the spine. Exhale, bringing the navel to the spine as you turn first from the belly, then from the rib cage. And then maybe allowing the shoulder to come back a little bit further. And then the neck and the head turns back until eventually you're looking over that right shoulder. Inhales releasing, exhales finding more depth. Inhale coming back into centre. Other side, bringing left hand behind you. Inhale, the right arm lifts. Right arm to the outside of the left thigh. Inhale to extend. Exhale, starting to take that twist. But be really mindful with your body here. So really starting from that point of the belly, noticing the belly starting to twist, the engagement that you're bringing in through your core here. And then the rib cage might move. The chest might move. The shoulder might inch back a little bit further. And then and only then, maybe the head starts to turn. Inhales to release a little and lengthen. Exhale, finding more of that twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, releasing, coming back into centre. Coming through a few rounds of a seated cat and cow. So inhale, the arms lift, bringing hands behind the back of the head. Finding that length and space in the spine. On your next inhale, really arching the back, opening the elbows out to the side. Exhale, curling in, bringing the elbows together. Inhale to arch open. Exhale to curl in and round. So really creating that C curve with the spine. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Just taking a few more rounds, following your own breath. Next inhale, releasing the hands, bringing you back to centre. Rolling over the knees to find your way into your tabletop. Solidifying your foundation, so palms underneath the elbows, underneath the shoulders. Knees are underneath the hips. Inhale to send the right heel, the right foot, the right leg back. Maybe just starting to pulse gently the heel of the right foot coming down towards the ground. On your next inhale, crossing that right foot over, taking a hold, and maybe walking left fingertips towards the top of the mat, finding that diagonal, finding that stretch down the side body. Inhale. Exhale, walking the right fingertips back in, bringing right knee behind the left knee as you sink the hips back to come all the way into seating with the eagle legs. Now you can bring that right leg long if that doesn't feel very good for your knees, or equally you can bring that right knee in. Inhale to open the arms wide, sending the palms slightly back. Exhale, bringing right elbow on top of left elbow. So your left knee is on top of your right knee. Then you can either stay here, maybe taking hold of each shoulder, or if you do have the space, maybe bringing the back of the palms together, maybe bringing the front of the palms together. Keeping shoulders down away from the ears, noticing if you're arching the spine, keeping the ribs from flaring out. Inhale, the elbows lift. Exhale, palms away from the face. Staying with your breath, finding that pretty delicious opening across the shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to open the arms wide, cactusing through the hands now, so keeping the elbows at 90 degrees. Maybe just taking a gentle back bend, arching the spine, knitting the shoulder blades together. Exhale, bringing palms down to the mat to come back into that tabletop. Other side. So on your next inhale, the left toes go back. Maybe just taking a few little pulses here, moving the left heel down towards the ground. You still want to keep that integrity of the spine, so pushing the hands equally into the floor, almost creating that doming sensation with the upper back. Think about being in your plank. And stepping left toes to the left. Maybe just staying here, or extending right fingertips forward. Finding a stretch. You can bring both hands forward if that feels better. Bringing chest down towards the ground. Inhale. Exhale if the hands are extending, walking hands back in, crossing those knees over and sitting back onto your heels. Or making your way back any way that you like, but you do want that right knee to be on top of the left, or that left leg out and extended. Inhale, growing tall through the spine, extending the arms, slightly bringing the palms backwards. Exhale to bring left elbow on top of right elbow, crossing at the elbows, either taking hold of opposite shoulder blades here, or keeping the elbows crossed, maybe bringing the back of the palms together, maybe taking the palms together. Inhale, the elbows lift. Exhale to send the palms away from the face. Notice if you're arching the spine, flaring the ribs, seeing if you can keep the ribs from flaring out, keep that navel towards the spine. Stay with your breath, inhale and exhale. One more breath here, inhale and exhale. Inhale to unravel the arms, bringing them back into cactus, maybe taking a slight back bend. Exhale, planting the hands down, uncrossing the knees and stepping back to your Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Maybe taking a moment to pedal out through the feet, or the knees rather. And really just taking any movement that might be feeling good for you today, before finding your place, your way into that stillness. Really rooting The fingertips in towards the ground, the palms into the ground, the beds of the knuckles are pressing down into the earth. You're pushing the ground away from you. Arms are strong and active, coming out from the wrists. Eyes of the elbows turning inward. The shoulders are melting down away from the ears. Your gaze can be either towards your hands, or you can keep the head heavy, looking between your knees or in between your feet. But you're really finding that extension of the spine as the tailbone tilts up towards the sky. If you need to keep a bend in your knees to feel this, then definitely take a bend in the knees. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to bring the right leg up. Come high on the ball of the left toe as you bring the right knee to the nose. Planting right foot in between the hands. Inhale, bringing the arms up, crescent lunge. Inhale, finding that extension. Exhale, bringing the left hand forward as the right hand comes back, taking your twisted crescent lunge. Either staying here or maybe bringing that right hand down the back of the left leg as the left hand comes up towards the sky. Gaze goes up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, bringing both hands to the mat, stepping back to find your high plank. Either pushing straight back into downward facing dog, or maybe bringing knees to the ground, working through your chaturanga. Inhale to prepare, really pushing the ground away from you, broadening through the upper back. Exhale, bringing the weight forward first, shoulders come beyond the line of the fingertips, bending the elbows so you come to that 90-degree angle. Inhale, coming through to your cobra or your upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling, the left leg lifts. High on the ball of the right toes as you bring left knee to nose, stepping left foot up in between the hands. Inhale, sweeping both arms out, coming to your crescent lunge. Maybe you wobble, maybe you don't. Really bringing that right heel up away from the floor, nicely bend in that left knee. You can bring your arms slightly more in front of the face here. They do not need to be up above the head, keeping that integrity of the spine. Inhale. Exhale, left hand comes back as right hand goes forward to take the twist. Staying here or inhaling, the right arm lifts as the left hand comes down the back of the right thigh. Maybe gaze lifts. Inhale, finding that stretch in the right hip flexor. Exhale to unravel, planting hands back onto the mat, stepping back to find your plank. Either coming straight back to downward dog, or inhale to prepare, pushing the ground away from you, finding that strength, that activation in this plank. Exhale, bringing the body weight forward, lowering the elbows, keeping them drawn in towards the rib cage. Inhale is your upward dog or your cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Coming back to your breath. And taking a child's pose here if that's calling out to you today. This is your practice. Your day, your way. Take what you need from this class. Make it what you need. If you are in that child's pose, coming back to that downward dog. Inhaling, the right leg lifts. Exhale, bringing right knee to the nose and planting right foot up in between the palms. Inhale, sweeping arms up, coming to that crescent lunge, high on the ball of that back foot. Exhale, bringing the prayer to the heart space. Then inhale, bringing the body forward, finding a diagonal so you're super high on the ball of that back foot, so much so that you start to engage and lift your way into Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, keeping a nice soft bend in that right knee. Maybe left leg starts to lift, keeping the left toes pointing down towards the earth, squaring through the hips, and bringing the chest up, lifting the chest up like your upward dog. Inhale. Exhale, lowering left toes down, straightening through both legs, both feet pointing up towards the top of the mat, like you're on train tracks. Bringing hands to the floor or hands to 2 bricks. Inhale to open up the chest. Exhale, hinge and fold, finding your pyramid pose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale to look up halfway. Exhale, planting hands and stepping right foot back to meet left, finding your high plank. Either pushing straight back into downward dog, or inhale to prepare, really pushing that ground away from you. Exhale, bringing the body weight forward as you bend the elbows, keeping them tucked in towards the spine, chaturanga. Inhale is your upward dog or your cobra. Exhale is your downward facing dog. 3 breaths here, or child's pose. Inhale for 1. Exhale for 1. Inhale for 2. Exhale for 2. Inhale for 3. Exhale for 3. Inhaling, the left leg lifts. High on the ball of the right toes as you bring left knee to nose. Stepping right foot up in between the hands. Inhale, bringing both arms up, coming to your crescent lunge. High, high, high on the ball of that back foot as you exhale, bringing the prayer through the centre line of the body. Leaning the weight forward, finding that diagonal, navel to the spine. High on the ball of those back toes as maybe you start to lift the right toes up and away from the floor, finding your way into Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Keeping a gentle bend in that left knee, really opening up through the chest, so not rounding down, finding that extension in the spine. Navel to the spine, maybe turning those right toes slightly further down towards the ground. Inhale. Exhale, bending deeply into that left knee as you lower the back toes, straightening the legs, bringing the feet parallel, both toes pointing up towards the front of the mat. Inhale, bringing hands down to the ground, finding that halfway lift. Exhale, hinging and folding. Maybe you're on blocks here. Inhale, finding length in the spine. As that right hip comes forward, that left hip is going back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming halfway up. Planting the hands and stepping back to find your plank. Either pushing straight back into that downward dog or making your way through your version of chaturanga, whatever that might look like today. Finding your back bend on the inhale. Finding downward facing dog or a child's pose on the exhale. We're here for 3 breaths. Inhaling for 1. Exhaling for 1. Inhaling for 2. Exhaling for 2. Inhaling for 3. Exhaling for 3. If you are in child's pose, making your way back into downward facing dog. Inhaling to come high onto the balls of the feet, deep bend in the knees, look between the palms, and jump, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale to look up halfway and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhaling, root to rise, gaze follows thumbs. Exhale to bring the prayer through the centre line of the body, finding your way to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. We're going to make our way into Garudasana, which is our eagle pose. So finding that grounded stability in the legs first, that balance on the feet, bringing the weight into the left heel as you start to bring it to the left foot rather, as you start to bring the right heel away from the floor. Maintain that integrity in the core, bringing the belly to the spine. And inhale, lifting the right leg up. Bending the left knee and crossing the right knee over the left. Now maybe you stay here. That's absolutely fine. Maybe you start to bring that right foot in line with the left shin. Maybe you have the double bind so you can wrap that right foot around the left calf, sinking deeper into the hips. Inhaling, the arms come wide, then crossing the left elbow over the right like we did at the beginning. Maybe you bring the backs of the palms together, maybe you bring the palms together. Inhaling, the elbows up, exhale, taking them away from the waist. Can you sink a little bit deeper into this eagle? Staying with your breath. Inhale, keeping the knees, the left knee going forward. Exhale. So centering the body here. Inhale and exhale. Next, inhale, keeping the bind of the hands if you have it, bringing the arms up. If you don't have the bind of the hands, bringing the hands into prayer, tilting the body and finding your way back into that warrior three. Big toes pointing down, gentle bend, very soft left knee. Keeping your gaze on one point on the floor. Inhale if the arms are released, bringing the hands into prayer. Now we're going to come through a little pistol squat here. So bear with me and give it a go. Don't worry if you don't make it. You can bring hands to bricks or hands down to the floor. If you want to come with me, we're going to keep our hands in heart center. Inhale, bending the right knee in towards the chest, bending the left knee, sitting down, sinking down as you extend the right leg forward to come all the way down onto the ground. If you didn't make it today, don't worry about it. Come into that seated position with the right leg extended. You're bringing the left foot to the inside of the right thigh, coming through our Janu Shasana. So just making sure you're sitting up onto the sitting bones. Your left knee is in external rotation. You might need to bring a block underneath that left knee if that feels better to you. If you do need a strap here, grab hold of a strap and you can walk yourself down. Inhale, bringing the arms up, turning the body slightly to look over the right leg. Exhale, starting to hinge and fold, keeping that straight spine. Maybe your arms come to your thighs, or your hands rather. Maybe they come to the shin. Maybe you take the palms around that right foot. Maybe you bring the forearms to the ground. But wherever you are, keeping the right toes extended and keep the gaze towards the big toe unless you are super far down, and then you can start to look toward the shin. But only do that if you're keeping your spine straight. So if you're rounding down, that's not what we want. Keeping the spine straight and folding forward. If you are super bendy, you can take a block around the foot and interclasp around that foot there. I can't tell if I'm bendy or if I've just got really short legs. It might be a combination of both. But find the posture that works for your body. Staying with your breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to walk yourself back up, hugging that left knee in, and then quite simply crossing over the ankles to step back into your high plank, either coming straight through downward dog or taking that vinyasa, which is always optional. And inhaling high onto the balls of the feet, deep bend in the knees, look between the palms, and jump, step or float, or take lots of little steps to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise, gaze follows thumbs. Exhale to bring the hands back through the heart space, finding your Tadasana. We're going to be moving into our eagle onto the other side. So bringing your weight more into your right foot, maybe left heel starts to lift up and away from the mat. Now you don't want to hyperextend the right leg, so you can keep a gentle bend in that right knee. Inhale the left knee up and towards the chest, and then bending into the right leg deeply as you cross, left knee on top of the right. Maybe you stay here, maybe you've got your hands in prayer for balance. Or maybe you can bring that left foot in line with the right calf. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you take the double wrap, tucking the left toes around the right shin. Inhaling the arms open. You can keep your hands in prayer here if you prefer. Bringing right elbow on top of left elbow. Maybe the back of the palms come to touch. Maybe the front of the palms come to touch. Inhaling the elbows up in line with the face. Exhale to take the palms away from the face. Can you sink a little bit deeper into that right leg? Staying with your breath here. Balance is breath. If you're holding your breath, you're triggering your nervous system to panic, and then you will fall. So if nothing in these postures focus on your breath, focus on your breathing. Inhale and exhale. Next, inhale, releasing the bind of the legs, keeping the bind of the hands up if you do have it, and then making your way into warrior three. Sending left toes back, bringing the leg eventually in line with the hip, but it doesn't matter if we're not there today. Taking our eagle for a glide. Stay with your breath. Inhale to release the arms if you have it, coming back into prayer with the hands. And we're going to make our way to sitting down through that pistol squat, or just coming down as a way that feels comfortable. I'll bring my hands to the floor this time. So if you do want to come with hands onto the floor, hands come onto the floor, then bending the left knee in towards the chest, extending the left leg out in front as you sink the right hip back. I know I make that look easier than it is, so don't worry if you didn't get there today. Bringing that right foot in towards the left. Maybe this right knee is onto a block, maybe you have a strap here. Inhaling, the arms lift, just twisting the body over that left leg as you exhale and fold. Maybe hands come to the thigh, maybe hands come to the shin. Maybe you take a bind around the left leg, maybe you bring a block and take a bind around that. But keeping that integrity of the spine. Inhale, finding that length, then exhale, maybe starting to find the hinge. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Keeping the gaze to the big toe unless you are super far near to that shin, and then the gaze can start to go to the shin. Always coming back to your breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, walking the hands up, crossing it over the ankles and either coming straight back to downward facing dog or making your way through one final vinyasa into your downward facing dog. Inhale high onto the balls of the feet, deep bending the knees, look between the palms. Jump, step or float to the top of the mat. And lowering with control all your way down to the back. Hugging knees into the chest. Maybe taking a gentle rock from side to side. And bringing arms out into a T, inching the hips over to the right as you allow both knees to fall over to the left. Gaze goes over right fingertips. Taking a gentle rotation of the spine. Inhale to center, sending the hips over to the left as both knees come out to the right. Gaze goes over left fingertips. And back to your breathing. Inhale to center. And taking any final movements that you need here. Maybe squeezing the legs, maybe bringing the nose up to the knees to take a very tiny squeeze. And then making your way to your Shavasana. Bringing feet out to the corners of the mat, palms facing up to the sky. Rolling the shoulder blades under. Allowing the body to become heavy, allowing the body to become still. Maybe closing the eyes or lowering the gaze. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more breath in through the nose, let, and out through the mouth, go. And please spend as much time as you need, as much time as you wish in your Shavasana, allowing the body to assimilate all the wonderful things we've just done. that I'm going to leave you here. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for your practice, for your energy. And I will see you for one last day on the mat. Namaste.